Hey guys, Jake here, and it's been a while since I made a video. I just don't find everything that's happening such newsworthy information. I mean, we should all see it happening by now. And if you don't, you're in trouble. How is 2025 starting out for most of y'all? Some of y'all long-term subscribers to the channel know last year I made a bunch of predictions, and I think pretty much the only couple that haven't came true yet is we haven't seen a nuclear attack, and gas isn't $10 a gallon yet. But as far as every other prediction I made, I think they're pretty much on point. And I'm gonna try not to veer too far off the topic on this video, but you know, the California wildfires are what's making the news here lately, and everybody's, you know, pointing the finger as to who's to blame and what was the cause, and it's all the insurance company's fault, and you know, they're building high rail, and it's due, it's arsonists, it's this, it's that, it's the fire chief's fault, it's the mayor's fault, it's Newsom's fault. And in my honest opinion, it's nobody's fault but the people of California. And I know a lot of you ain't gonna like that, but that's just the fact of how it works. That's the reality that those people in California live in. And let's just, you know, start with the fires here for a minute. It doesn't really matter the cause of the fires. They've happened. The damage has been done. It continues on today. And the people of California have allowed that to happen, whether it be from your politicians, or your officials, or your fire chief, or your mayor, whoever you want to point that finger at. The people of California elected or put those people in those positions. And those corrupt, evil, idiotic people have allowed California to be in the exact position that it is in. Just like the insurance companies. The insurance companies are not to blame for what has happened, okay? The reality of it is most people are just uneducated on how their insurance policy works. It's that simple. You think that you're covered and you're not. And that is not the insurance company's fault. You sign a contract with your insurance company in black and white on paper. Every single one of us do. And you agree to the terms of that contract. Now, whether or not you understand that contract or you read all of the fine print, that is 100% on you. Everybody wants to think that the insurance companies are out to screw them, and you know, they're the big bad corporation and they're just taking your money and they're not paying anything out. And that's not how insurance companies work. And I'm not here to defend the insurance companies, but I did work as a catastrophic insurance adjuster for 15 plus years. So I know exactly how the insurance companies work, how their policies work, how they pay, when they don't pay, why they don't pay. And if people would simply get out their insurance policy and read through it, you would understand why they don't pay and why you think you're getting screwed. Because to be very honest with you, if an insurance claim is worked 100% correctly, all right, by the black and white, it is going to cost you money. That's how the insurance company policy works. It is going to cost you money if that policy and loss is worked correctly. You have a deductible that applies, which is your part of the payment to pay in the event of a loss. And that deductible can vary, especially in areas like California, Texas, Florida. Many of the states' policies are all derived from California policies, Texas policies, and Florida policies. Those are some of the most stringent policies that are sold in the United States for a myriad of reasons. Fire being a big one in California. This is not the first fire in California. It burns out there every single year. And again, the people are the one to blame for what has happened. Just look at it from this perspective. State Farm. You know, a lot of State Farm has pulled out of California areas out there. And a lot of it has to do with the policies, the city and government policies that were enacted out there. You know, State Farm is a business, and they're in business to make money, just like every other business. They're no different than McDonald's. They're no different than, you know, Ford or Chevy dealerships. They're a business, and they're in business to make money. Now, everybody's all upset about, you know, the fire hydrants didn't work, and, you know, the fire chief didn't make sure the inspections were done on the hydrants, and the reservoirs were empty out there, and, you know, there was no water here and no water over there, and they gave fire trucks away, and they cut $20 million from the fire budget. All right, all of these little things, all right, that people weren't paying attention to, and people let happen. Okay, that lady or guy or whoever it was that cut $20 million out of the fire budget, why did the people allow that to happen? Okay, why did the people allow for the fire hydrants to not be inspected? Why did the people allow for those reservoirs to be empty? Y'all want to say that Gavin Newsom let all your water out into the ocean and all those reservoirs were empty. Who put him in? The people, all right? I can guarantee you that State Farm knows that those fire hydrants weren't inspected. State Farm knew that there was $20 million cut from the fire budget. State Farm knew that those reservoirs were empty because that's their business, to assess the risk on the amount of houses and where those houses are. And as a business, when that risk becomes too high, and they know, all right, they're thinking, they got think tanks of people sitting there calculating all of this stuff out. And they're sitting there thinking, you know, the city has allowed all of these reservoirs to be emptied, and, you know, we don't have the fire equipment in case there's a big fire. And we know half of those hydrants out there ain't gonna work when they hook them up. And, you know, that's really just too big of a risk for us as a company to take. So we are going to decline, all right, to re-sign up these policies in this area. Whose fault is that? Because State Farm is smart enough to know that basically the politicians and officials out there have screwed these people over enough. It's not worth the risk of State Farm to write policies in that area anymore. That's very simple. And as homeowners, that should have been a big red flag to you. If your insurance company is canceling a policy in your area, all right, in a whole generalized area, that should be a red flag for you to get the hell out of that area, all right? The risk is there. The risk has always been there for wildfires in California. It's going to happen. It's going to happen again. And when y'all allow the officials and the politicians to do the things that they have done, you can only expect bad outcomes for that to happen. I've been reading the comments and videos on insurance in California and fires and the payouts and the problems. And it is simply that people do not understand their policies. Any claim is going to cost you money. If you're making money, a profit off of that claim, it was worked improperly and you have committed fraud. That's basically how an insurance company policy works. I would advise all of you, every single person that watches this video, that owns a home, rents a home, or has a homeowner's insurance policy, to get that policy out and read through it. Because there are going to be pages and pages and pages of exclusions on that policy. Things that are not covered, things that are limited on coverage, things they don't cover, things you're not going to get paid for. You should understand how that policy works. Unfortunately, when most people go and buy a house, you have your mortgage payment, your taxes, and your insurance. And one way to cut the payment on that mortgage of your home is the insurance. You don't get the coverage that you need because the bank ain't going to change their payment and the taxes ain't going to change their payment. So the only way you're getting it any lower is to get a cheaper insurance policy. And when you do that, you are selling yourself short. Please read through your policy with everything that is going on, everything that is going to go on. Natural disasters are only going to get worse. It goes for the same as the people in Florida, the same as the people in North Carolina, the same for people in California. All of the people that think they are getting screwed over by the insurance company is, 99% out of the time, it's just they're uneducated on how that policy works. I was a catastrophic adjuster for over 15 years. I can't tell you how many thousands and thousands and thousands of homes that I went to and assessed damage on those homes. And people do not understand how their policy works. Most of them have never even gotten out and read their policy. Things that are limited, things that are excluded. And it's all fixing to happen again in California, I can guarantee you. Especially with the cost to rebuild these houses. It is going to be a problem. You pay, in California, we all know homes are expensive. And let's just throw an example out there. You have, $1 million home. And you have $1 million policy on that home. You've had that policy for, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15 years. Well, come to find out, to rebuild your house is going to be $2 million. Now, who owes for that extra $1 million? All right? Do you think the insurance company is going to owe for it? You've only paid premium on $1 million policy. That $1 million policy that you had has limitations built into it that you signed and agreed to 100%. In black and white, they are written right there in the policy. Yes, there are additions for code upgrades and changes and that kind of stuff. But there is no piece or part of your policy that is going to allow for inflation. The up cost to rebuild that house. You're expected to get $1 million, and that's probably about all you're going to get. Now, we are just talking structure here, not personal property or additional living expense or any of that other kind of stuff. But your policies have all of that written into them. And you signed and agreed to that. So to think that the insurance company is just, they're just out here to screw you and they're trying to shortchange you and they're trying to make money. The insurance companies do not make money on the premium dollar that you pay into them, okay? Your monthly or yearly amount of money that you pay to your insurance company, that is not how they make their money. For every dollar that the insurance company receives on a premium payment on a policy, they pay out probably $1.25. That's how much it was years and years ago when I was an adjuster. I'm retired now and I'm no longer in the business, but it was the same then as it is now. They do not make money on the premium dollars that you pay in. Those are a loss. The insurance company takes those millions and millions and millions of dollars that are paid in monthly or yearly, and they invest that money into investments. And that is where they make their money, not from the premium dollars that you pay in. And chances are, if you're not getting paid on a policy or a loss that you've had, if you'll get out your contract that you signed, your policy, and read through it, it will explain to you why you're not getting paid. Now, there are errors that are made, and there are, scams that are going around. There is no doubt. But for the biggest part, all right, 98%, these insurance companies just want your claim paid, your house to be rebuilt, and for you to send them more money. They're a business. They're in business to make money. That's what it's about. They are not making money by trying to shortchange on your payment. It's a very insignificant amount of money. I've already watched a few videos on it. People do not know what they're talking about. Making these videos about their insurance and their insurance companies and why people pulled out and all this kind of stuff. You have to educate yourself as a person and understand what's going on. Just like that phone that you're on right there, when you signed up for Google or you signed up for YouTube's, you scrolled all the way down there to the bottom and you accept terms of use. Not even reading all of the fine print in that contract. Just like YouTube. Everybody wants to bitch and complain about free speech on YouTube, but you agreed to that whenever you clicked the little button down there that said agree to terms. And not a damn one of you out there read all of that fine print. So they are taking your information. They are collecting data on you. They are selling that data. Everybody wants to complain that it's YouTube's fault. Terms of service, no free speech. Bullshit. You signed up for it, you get what you signed up for, you get what you pay for, and you get what you elected for. And those people in California, as bad as it is, they're getting exactly what they paid for and what they elected. You let corrupt officials run everything for you and you think you're covered and you think you're going to get paid, you're fixing to wake up to a nightmare, folks. Stay safe out there. Take care.